Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So I've been taking Lyft for about a year and a half now, and I gotta say, I've met some pretty interesting people along the way. And what better to title this video than my top 5 best Lyft stories? I might actually even make a skit out of this one day, I'm not even sure. So taking Lyft is kind of like rolling dice. I mean, you never know what kind of driver you're gonna get, and it's probably the same with Uber. But throughout my experiences, I had either phenomenal car rides, standard car rides, or just awful car rides altogether. But I'm just gonna give you guys my top 5 stories, and starting with number one, which was the best one. Now, this is my first time using Lyft, and I think I was going to the gym, my UFC gym that I go to. I can't exactly remember, but her name was Sabrina, and she noticed that, wow, this is your first time, sort of using Lyft, and she was really friendly. She was really cool. And I remember having a really good conversation with her with that short car ride of like 15 minutes. But I was going through something at the time, still very much going on to this day. And I needed some advice, and she seemed really friendly. So I started talking with her, and Sabrina was so cool because she gave me so much great advice. Like she literally brought out the girl within me. Like you know how like you would talk like classic, like, oh my god, girl, how's it going, whatever. She literally brought that out of me. It was dope. But dude, Sabrina was so fucking cool. She gave me a lot of great advice, and she was like, listen, if you need to talk to me, you can call me, whatever. And lo and behold, it was actually really cool. I actually had her twice, not just once, twice. The second time I had her, it was actually the day after junior, I don't know, the night of junior prom. I think it was about like 1. And I remember because one of my teachers at that time, it was like late at night. Everybody had left already, and I was pretty upset after junior prom. I'm not gonna lie, for reasons I will probably talk about in the future. But I was upset at junior prom, and my teacher was just like, "Listen, I'm calling you a Lyft. We're getting you home. Your driver's name is Sabrina." I was like, "What?" Like, Sabrina was my previous Lyft driver, and she was really fucking cool. So I'm hoping it's the same person. She pulls up, and lo and behold, it was Sabrina. I talked to her the whole car ride home. We listened to a bunch of songs to make me feel better, and wow, she was amazing. And the third time, and the last time I had her, was actually to get my tattoo appointment done, which was really cool. She actually no, I went there to have a consultation, and she recommended me to go to True Line to get the tattoo by Antonio Hernandez, and yeah, that was the last I seen of Sabrina so far. I mean, I still can call her from here and there. Her name, she likes to be called Sab Sab for some reason. I forgot the reason why, but I could hit her up and she could lift me places. But she's super cool, and I love Sabrina. Now, the second Lyft driver I want to talk about was I remember this day specifically because I had a really good day with a friend of mine, and it was like sunset, and then I called my Lyft and I said bye, and then all that stuff. And then this guy pulls up in this car, and this car looks kind of like a drag, like one of those street racing cars. And then like the dude's vaping, like hard clouds, the white guy with glasses, and we're talking and stuff like that. He ended up having like telling me about his like wife, and he had like 9 dogs or something like that, and that in his free time he would actually drag race, which was really cool. He was like, yeah, I think the most money I won like at a in a race was like $1,000, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. He was like, yeah, I do it in my free time. It's kind of dangerous, but I love cars. I beat people in like expensive looking cars like Mercedes and shit. I'm like, damn, that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, that was it for that guy. Like, he had quite the interesting story to tell about him and his dogs, his wife and his family, and he gave me some cool advice. And he was like, yeah, man, if you ever want to get into drag racing, give me a call. And I was like, all right. Now, the third Lyft driver that I had wasn't that interesting, but his story was kind of phenomenal in of itself. Now, this guy actually wasn't from our area. He was actually from like 2 states over, and he was just like, fuck it, I might as well Lyft to make some money while I'm here. But he was super friendly, and he had actually ended up being, I think he was I forgot actually what he did for a job, but the reason why he was there at the time, like 2 states over from where he actually lived, was because his son had something to do with his university, and he had like this competition going on, so he wanted to visit his son, so he drove all the way out there. But he was actually like a doctor of some sort. I couldn't remember, but he had something to do with like scanning bones and to see if you had cancer or whatnot. I can't remember, but the guy's story was so great, and he was actually driving me to a friend's house, and I remember that day specifically because it was rainy, and I had like a bunch of shit with me, like or a stupid amount of stuff. I had a bunch of snacks. I had brought my PS4 with me actually, because we were gonna play video games that night. But yeah, I had a bunch of shit with me. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna have a fun night with your friends," and I was like, "Oh, well, a friend, and we're gonna have a lot of fun about a lot of shit." And he gave me the lowdown, gave me some great advice during that car ride, and he was a super friendly guy. Um, Great all around. I got to pretty much get a story about his son and how his son is into baseball and like he's super smart, shit like that. It was cool. It was cool guy. Now the fourth Lyft driver that I had was actually kind of weird. I am not going to lie, but I'll breeze over it quickly because I have mad respect for the dude. But he honestly seemed like he had a fair share of problems. I don't know. He was pretty abrasive with me at times, but this guy, he was actually an army veteran. I don't know what branch he was in. I can't remember. I think he was just in the Army Reserves, but he had to go do basic training. He had tats all over his body. And he was telling me like all his stuff about where he would go in Afghanistan, and he was stationed there, and that what he would do. He was like on the front lines, whatever. And he told me that like sometimes in Afghanistan it would rain like so much that it they had like these like trailers or whatever they would sleep in or bunk in, right? And every time it rained like super hard, like the rain had nowhere to go because there was no drain system. So whenever it rained super hard, it just like stayed there in like a giant puddle. So sometimes when they would exit their cabin, the water would be so high it'd be up to their ankles, which is kind of ridiculous now that I think about it. And I'm just like, dude, you had to go through that. He was like, yeah, some seasons are like monsoons and shit like that. It gets fucking ridiculous. But the guy was super cool. He was telling me about like sometimes when they would like have like alarms go off in their camp or whatever, and they had to like post up and at times where he was most scared is when he would hear the explosions going off in the distance and like see some shit. And I was like, well, like I didn't want to get super personal with him, like have you killed somebody type of deal, but I kind of edged to it, and he was just like, yeah, I saw some combat, here and there. I fired a couple of shots, but it wasn't nothing serious. I was mainly doing it like he was mainly doing like information stuff and like saying like, hey, coordinates to this place, Alpha Charlie Bravo, here yada yada. Sectors going back to the LZ, stuff like that. Which was really cool, and he was telling me about his military experience, and he was telling me like, hey man, if you want to do military stuff, you should join. You definitely need you. Or can find a place for you. You know what I mean? And I thought the guy was super cool. A little bit on the weird side though. He was married. I don't even know what corps he was in. I totally fucking forgot. But cool guy. Now the last Lyft driver I will tell you about is quite special because I had him a couple of days ago, and it was honestly a great experience. So let me tell you a story. So the guy, he pulls up, and I see his name. It's like Akil or Aquil or something like that. I can't remember. But he pulls up. It's a pretty nice car. I get in, and he's already blasting music. There's two passengers in the back, and not that it's important or anything, but they're both lesbians. Okay, and this guy who's my driver, he's African American. Okay, he's a straight black dude. He's gangster as fuck. But I get into the car and he's just like, hey, let's go, man. We're listening to my music, whatever. I'm just like, oh, okay. So we're driving and we're bumping, and immediately he goes, yeah, we're listening to my music right now. I'm seeing what they think. They don't like my music, and they're just like, oh no, it's pretty, it's great, it's good, it's all right. You know what I mean? So he puts on a song, and I don't remember the song titles exactly, but they're mostly about love. It was like the classic like trap music that you would hear nowadays, but like he would rap about like love and shit, and it was like probably like the greatest experience ever. Like he would talk, his rap name was Ill Quill, and it was probably the best experience. Like he was tatted up, he had gold chains and everything, but the thing was is he was lifting and he was telling me his story. So we dropped off the two passengers in the back, and I was listening to his music some more, and it honestly I've heard a lot worse. I've heard music recorded by kids in my high school, like on their SoundClouds, and it's pretty bad. But Ill Quill, he had his shit going, and he was telling me that he had a deal for $100,000 that he turned down because it wasn't long term. And he was telling me that, like, yo, man, like, I want to be, like, big, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be, like, you know, when somebody hears my name, they'll be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh yeah, they want to be they want to be recognized as like, oh shit, that's Ill Quill, you know what I'm saying? So I thought the conversation between me and him was pretty cool. And I told him that I made videos and stuff like that, and that I made one music video in my career, and he was like, oh, let me see it, whatever. I was like, nah, you don't want to see it, because it was such a meme. I remember making that one music video a while ago for a couple of my friends. Still have yet to be paid for it, but yeah, it was fun making that. But he was really adamant because he was just like, "Oh, you make music videos, you know, it's fucking you make my music video." But Ill Quill, holy shit, look him up on Instagram, all that jazz. Like he's pretty fucking cool. Music, in all honesty, if I want to be real with you guys, I rate it like shit, like a C plus, teeter on to a B. Like it had the hook, it had the content behind it, it had like what he was writing about. It wasn't all like bitches, monies, and hoes, you know what I'm saying? But it was more about like the weekend shit that he would like sing about, and it was all auto-tuned, obviously. It was pretty funny in the car ride, but man, Ill Quill, cool guy all around. But yeah, that those are my Lyft stories. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I have much more stories to tell, but yeah, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting taking Lyft so far. I love it. You know, just lifting around the city, getting people's inside, and just talking to a bunch of different types of people. I mean, I had some really boring Lyft drivers at some points, but you know, that's life. You know, you experience a lot of weird things, and lifting around has been really fun. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. More to come, and yeah, peace out, guys.